9 bullets. 9 chances to die. 9 reasons to give up. But when they shot Curtis Jackson, they didn't realize they were creating a monster. This is just a story about survival at S, about the most dangerous form of revenge. Living well enough to make your attackers regret ever crossing you. From George Harrison fighting a knife-wielding madman in his own home, to Björk stalkers sending her a bomb disguised as a book, to Theresa Saldana being stabbed 10 times by an obsessed fan. We're exploring what happens when celebrities stare death in the face and come back stronger than ever. But before we continue, if you've ever been underestimated, betrayed, or written off for dead, hit that subscribe button and join us for one of the most psychologically compelling revenge stories you'll ever hear. Let's set the scene. May 24th, 2000. Queens, New York. A young Curtis, 50 Cent Jackson, sits in a car outside his grandmother's house. He's not famous yet, just another aspiring rapper trying to make it out of the streets. But Curtis had a past. A drug-dealing past that was about to catch up with him in the most violent way possible. A black vehicle pulls up alongside him. Window rolls down. And then 9 shots. Bang. 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 The bullets rip through his body hand. Arm, hip, both legs, chest, and worst of all, his face. One bullet literally goes through his cheek. Imagine the pain, the shock, the betrayal. Because this wasn't random, this was personal. This was a hit ordered by people who knew him. As Curtis lay bleeding, fighting for consciousness, he must have wondered, is this how it ends? In a pool of blood outside Grandma's house. But to understand why this happened, we need to talk about the psychology of revenge. See? When someone tries to destroy you, they're operating from a position of power. They think they can erase you. They believe you're weak. What they don't realize is that survival itself becomes the ultimate revenge. And Curtis Jackson was about to become the master of that revenge. 13 days in the hospital. 5 months of recovery. 9 bullets lodged in his body. The doctors weren't sure he'd ever walk normally again, let alone rap. But here's where the mindset shift happens. Where most people would feel defeated, Curtis felt energized, angry, determined. He later said, "When you've been shot 9 times, everything else seems easy." Let that sink in. When you've literally faced death and won, what's left to fear? A tough crowd, a critic, a business failure. Nothing. Now, let's talk about the attackers. Police suspected Daryl Homobaum, Mike Tyson's former bodyguard, was the shooter. The theory? A local drug lord named Supreme hired him over a drug dispute. But here's where karma comes in. Just 3 weeks after the shooting, Boehm himself was gunned down, murdered, and allegedly, Mike Tyson himself offered $50,000 to whoever took out the people responsible. Meanwhile, Curtis was transforming his pain into power. He used the experience to create his iconic mixtape, Guess Who's Back? A title that basically screamed, "You failed to kill me, and now I'm coming for everything." The streets listened. The music industry listened. And most importantly, Dr. Dre and Eminem listened. They signed him, and his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, became a cultural phenomenon. Think about that title. Get Rich, or Die Trying. Not, and, this wasn't just a catchy phrase, it was his reality. He'd already faced the die trying part, and now he was going for the get rich part. But Curtis wasn't the only celebrity who turned survival into a form of revenge. Let's talk about some others who embodied this powerful psychological shift. 1. Theresa Saldana, stabbed 10 times by an obsessed stalker. She not only recovered, but became a powerful advocate for victims' rights. She even played herself in a TV movie about the attack taking control of her own narrative. 4-2. George Harrison, when a mentally ill man broke into his home and stabbed him multiple times, Harrison fought back alongside his wife. He survived, continued making music, and never let fear dictate his life. 3. Tupac Shakur survived the shooting in 1994, where he was hit 5 times. Instead of fading away, he became even more prolific, releasing music that cemented his legacy before his tragic death 2 years later. Each of these stories follows the same psychological arc: attack, survival, transformation, dominance. But back to 50 Cent. His revenge wasn't just about music, it was about business. About becoming so successful that his attackers would see him everywhere. He built a massive empire. Music, fashion, television, production, vitamin water endorsement deals worth hundreds of millions. Imagine being the people who tried to kill him, seeing his face on billboards, hearing his music everywhere, watching him become a multi-millionaire business mogul. That's the sweetest revenge, not violence. Not retaliation, but unignorable success. The kind that says, your best shot couldn't stop me. Your violence only made me stronger. In 2005, rival rappers testified against Supreme, the alleged mastermind behind the shooting. The truth came out. Justice was served, but Curtis had already served his own justice by living so well that his attackers became footnotes in his incredible story. So, what's the psychological lesson here? When someone tries to destroy you, they're giving you power. They're creating the narrative of your comeback. The pain, the betrayal, the injustice, it all becomes fuel. Fuel for transformation. Fuel for success. Fuel for living a life so big that your attackers have to watch you win. As 50 Cent himself put it, sunny days would be special if it was for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. The rain, the pain, the 9 bullets. They all became part of his story, but they didn't define his story. He rewrote the ending. If you've ever been knocked down, betrayed, attacked, or underestimated, remember this: survival is your first revenge. Success is your ultimate revenge. Hit that like button if you believe in turning pain into power. Subscribe for more stories about overcoming the impossible. And in the comments, tell us, what's the most satisfying comeback story you've ever witnessed? Until next time, remember, they might try to knock you down, but they can't stop you from getting back up. Stronger, smarter, and unstoppable.